I want to thank the City Council for allowing me an opportunity and a forum to acknowledge some outstanding work being performed by our public safety officers. This evening I have the honor of presenting a unit citation to the following. It will be Lieutenant Joseph Meyer, Officer David Cardinelli, Officer Anthony Kerrigan, Detective Jeffrey Mata, Officer Timothy Gore, Officer Patrick Laskaska, Officer Christopher Sukol, and Officer John Dean. And this incident involves the heroic life-saving efforts by our officers after a motorist crashed into a pole and became trapped inside her vehicle. The driver was in severe medical distress, and it took an entire team effort to help save the life of the victim. And I am extremely proud and happy to be in front of council and standing before you all, like I said, to present the unit citation. So many challenges that we face in the profession, not only law enforcement, but like I said, we do the three jobs. We do the fire, and we also have the honor and distinction of being medical first responders. And with so many challenges and so many, sometimes you want to, unfortunately, there's a lot of negative stories surrounding the profession, and when you have an opportunity to highlight some of the outstanding work that's being done, you definitely don't want to miss that opportunity. The men and women that you see standing at the rear of council here represent the absolute best in this profession, and that's bar none. I could not be prouder to stand here leading the men and women that you see standing at the rear council chambers, and they come and they bring it every day, and they leave nothing in the tank, and it's appreciated. And again, I appreciate this council for allowing us the opportunity during council session here to actually acknowledge that. As I call the officers' names, I would ask that you come forward, stand front and center, and face the audience, please. Start with Lieutenant Joseph Meyer. Lieutenant Meyer is a 23-year veteran of the department. He's currently the administrative lieutenant / fire marshal. He's a highly decorated commander, has received numerous awards and citations throughout his career. Lieutenant Meyer is an evidence technician and currently in charge of the Evidence Tech program. He's a less lethal instructor in charge of the less lethal program. He served as a field training officer. He's a member of the department's, he was a member of the department's special response team for several years. He served as a detective in our investigation bureau. He also oversees our K-9 program. With his vast level of experience, we're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Next, I would ask Officer Dave Cardinelli to come forward, please. Officer Cardinelli is a 19-year veteran of this department. He's a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations throughout his distinguished career. He's currently assigned to the Day Shift Patrol Division. Officer Cardinelli has served as a detective in our Investigations Bureau for several years. Currently serves as an evidence technician and does an outstanding job. He's a field training officer, and he's also the vice president of the Oak Park Police Officers Association. We're extremely proud and fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Next, I would ask Officer Anthony Kerrigan to come and stand front and center, please. Officer Anthony Kerrigan is a 17-year member of this department. He's a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations throughout his distinguished career. Officer Kerrigan is currently assigned to the Midnight Shift Patrol Division. He has served as a detective in the Investigations Bureau for several years. He's a defensive tactics instructor, a firearms instructor, a field training officer, and a former member of the department's special response team. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Next, I would ask Detective Jeffrey Mata to come and stand front and center. Detective Mata is a 9-year veteran of this department, currently promoted to the Investigations Bureau. Detective Mata is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous citations and awards throughout his distinguished career. He's one of our firearms instructors. He's also a field training officer. Detective Mata also is one of our less lethal instructors, and we're extremely proud and extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Officer Patrick Laskaska, you would come and stand front and center. Okay. Unfortunately, Officer Laskaska is on the road. handling many responsibilities that we have. But Officer Laskaska is a 6-year veteran of this department. He's currently assigned to the Midnight Shift Patrol Division. He's a highly decorated officer as well, who has received numerous awards and citation. Officer Laskaska currently serves as one of the department's firearms instructors. We're extremely lucky to have him as a member of our team. Officer Timothy Gore. Officer Gore is also a 6-year veteran of this department. He's a highly decorated officer who has received numerous citations and awards throughout his career. Officer Gore is currently assigned to the Day Shift Patrol Division. He's a field training officer. Prior to becoming a public safety officer, Officer Gore played professional soccer overseas. Officer Gore is always smiling. He has a great personality. We love having him, and we're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this team. Officer Christopher Sukol. You come and stand. Officer Sukol is a 2-year veteran of this department. He's currently assigned to the Midnight Shift. Officer Sukol is also on his way to becoming a highly decorated officer. Officer Sukol is extremely dedicated, hardworking. We're extremely fortunate to have him as an officer and a member of this department. And last but not least, Officer John Dean. Just recently, Officer Dean finished his first year with our department, but he is no rookie. Officer Dean has spent time as a Detroit police officer and also as an Oakland County deputy. He was highly decorated and received many awards at both of those agencies. He's currently assigned to our Day Shift Patrol Division. From the day that he first joined the department, Officer Dean has actively recruited several officers to join the Oak Park Public Safety Department. Officer Dean is extremely smart, dedicated, hardworking, and we're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. And I am extremely happy that he is one of our top recruiters. So, thank you so much. At this time, I'll read verbatim from the unit citation. And it reads as follows. It says, on Thursday, February 2nd, 2023, at approximately 9:15 p.m., Oak Park officers were dispatched to Coolidge and Oak Park Boulevard on the report of an injury accident involving a motor vehicle that had crashed into a pole. The first officers arrived on scene within a few minutes to find a single female occupant in medical distress. Officers had to force entry into the vehicle to gain access to the victim. The driver was initially incoherent, but eventually became combative due to severe compound fracture of her leg, specifically the femur area. Officer Sukol broke the front passenger side window, and Officer Dean gained access to the victim. Officer Dean immediately began medical assessment of the victim while attempting to stabilize and keep her from touching her leg. Officers Cardinelli, Kerrigan, Mata, Gore, Laskaska, and Sukol worked together performing first aid and extrication efforts. The victim's leg was bleeding profusely due to the nature of this injury. Lieutenant Joseph Meyer quickly supplied and assisted officers in applying a tourniquet that allowed the victim's bleeding to be controlled. Officers successfully extricated the victim from the vehicle within 15 minutes, at which time advanced care was turned over to Alliance Ambulance. The victim was transported to Beaumont Hospital for further medical treatment. The experience, quick actions, professionalism, and immediate care rendered by all the officers on the scene was critical in the on-scene improved condition and the saving of the victim's life. I would like to recognize these officers for their actions and professionalism under extraordinary circumstances. You are commended for the excellent manner in which you performed your duties during this incident, and is signed by myself, the Director of Public Safety, Steve Cooper. Congratulations, man.